This is my Rover R8 Coupe, a Rover Tomcat that I bought recently. Now, when I bought this car, I knew it had a problem. In the advert, it said that this car would smoke on startup, but that run and drive the car for a while, and well, that smoke would burn off. And if you watch the last video on this car, you'll know that isn't actually the case. In fact, it gets much, much worse when you drive it. My intention with the Rover Coupe was to, well, enjoy it and drive it for a few months during the winter on nice dry days, to take it to a few autumn and winter car meets. It's nice to drive a classic car during the winter months. It kind of is a bit of a change, a bit of a break from the daily. I suppose my plan was to smoke around in the Rover Coupe for a while. Excuse the pun. Anyway, there'll be no driving this car for a while. Here, take a look under the bonnet. Now, whilst I do have a number of other cars, I don't tend to like to use my best cars during the winter months. And as for the rest, well, it seems to me that I've been accumulating project cars more so than drivable modern classics right now. So when a friend of mine from in the motor trade gave me a call and said that he might have a car that I'd be interested in, whilst I promised myself that I wasn't going to be buying any more cars, after all, I've got no space, I thought there's no harm in taking a look. And well, one thing leads to another. You know how it goes. And well, welcome to another Rover R8. In this one, in my favourite colour. Welcome then to my Rover R8, let me turn the camera around, Cabriolet in Nightfire Red, which really is my favourite Rover colour from this generation. Doesn't it look fabulous? Back then to the day that I bought this Rover R8 Cabriolet from Eddie, the previous owner, who'd actually owned this car for 15 years. He and his wife, well, they loved this little Rover. They'd use it for short and long distance drives. They take it on days out and trips away. And despite it being 27 years old, they had every confidence in this Rover. In fact, here's how it looked on the day that I bought the car. The day I first saw it. Sure, there are a few age-related marks, but overall, it's a very tidy Rover R8. The interior looked really good, and this Nightfire Rover had only covered 80,005 miles. That's less than 3,000 miles a year. As for the roof, it's good. Look, it's got a few splits, but in fact, I'd say that it's pretty darn good when considering how bad these canvas roofs can get over, nearly 3 decades. But I wasn't confident enough to put the roof down. Now this car, when I bought it, it had no MOT. The MOT had expired a few months before I purchased this car. So a couple of days into owning it, I whipped it straight down to the garage, dropped it off and left it there for an MOT, which was actually easier said than done. You see, in those first 2 days of owning this car, well, the starter motor had packed up. This car, after all, had been left laid up for just under a year. So the starter motor had packed up. Thankfully, it's a fairly light car, so I was able to push and bump start this car myself, and I dropped it down for an MOT. This car failed the MOT on 2 things. A small patch of welding down here on the offside front sill, and it needed a CV joint boot. And of course, I needed to buy a replacement starter motor for this car. Well, in fact, I haven't bought anything for this car. Remember that Rover R8 Tomcat Coupe that we've just seen in there that's in bits? Well, that car isn't going anywhere for a while, so I've actually robbed the bits off that car, an entire drive shaft and the starter motor, and I dropped the drive shaft down to the MOT garage. So, with the small weld work carried out here to the offside front sill, and with that drive shaft fitted, this car passed its first MOT in over a year, and it passed with nil advisories. Fantastic. So, Nigel and I jumped in the car and went down to collect this car, and we took the starter motor with us, and well, Nigel fitted it there in the car park of the garage. What a legend. How's it work? So just made it back from the MOT test station. The car's starting really well. And what I thought, we'd try this roof for the first time. Genuinely, this is the first time I've tried to put this roof down. Apparently it's slow, but let's see if it works. So a couple of clips here, similar to my Escort. And then there's a button. Here we go. Might need a bit of a hand. Kind of works, doesn't it? A convertible Rover, I might go and push it down a bit. Okay, so it's a November Sunday morning. Yesterday was the day that I first put the roof down on this car. And well, when it was down, it gave me the opportunity to come in here, give this car a decent vacuum out, clean the seats, swap the stereo over. It was an old Pioneer stereo with a cassette and a 10-disc CD player. I've removed all of that and put in a bit more of a modern one that can support a USB port and run a phone. What else did I do? I reattached this door card. Just tidied the car up really. I also put a clock in the car. In fact, this car came with two clocks. The original clock, which when I plugged it in, expecting the digital display not to read properly because they always break, well, there wasn't one. The bulb, the light, just shone back in my face. So I tried putting in the other one, but it's got a different plug in the back, more leads going into the original clock for this car. I thought about cutting the wires and, well, trying to kind of retrofit this particular clock, but I didn't bother. I've put it in for now because, well, it fills a hole in the dashboard, but I don't have a working clock at the moment. As I say, it's a Sunday, it's November. It's a lovely time of year, this, actually, because, well, the last of the leaves are falling from the trees. I mean, just look at this footage as I drove through the Torpoint Twisties Road in my Rover 216 Cabriolet. And well, that's the benefit, isn't it, of having a winter classic car, because you can get out and about on nice days like this. I mean, this is sunglasses weather, in November. But yeah, you can get out and you can enjoy your car on dry days, but you're not going to be particularly precious about it with the dirt that's on the road, maybe the salt that's on the road and things like that. The other benefit of running a winter classic car is that you get to go to the occasional car meet and car show that keeps going through the autumn and the winter. And that's where I'm going today, to Hilltop Farm Shop Car Meet, part of the Launson Retro Rides Club. Well, Hilltop Farm Shop, if you're ever in Cornwall, do pay it a visit. Family run farm shop, lovely food and a few nice bits and pieces to buy. But most importantly, every month they run a car show. I don't want to say rain or shine, because if it's properly hammering it down, well, of course they'd cancel it. But in the main, these events go ahead, and it does give us classic car owners the opportunity to go and do something with our classic cars, or just be around classic cars still when outside of the show season. And this, of course, is this car's first real drive. A couple of days ago, I picked it up from the MOT, it having, of course, no advisories, remember? Fixed it up yesterday, put a full tank of super unleaded fuel into it just to give the car that good run through. And well, I've got to say, it's driving really nicely indeed. It's very smooth, the engine's very quiet. In fact, driving along just now at about 70 miles an hour, well, this felt like a far more modern car than it actually is. Yeah, I'm really fond of this little Rover 216 Coupe, this bargain winter classic car. And as for the roof, well, I did have to help it up yesterday after it was pretty slow to go down. I did have to give it a bit of assistance to come up. I will check the oil level, actually, the hydraulic oil level in the pump, just to make sure that's nice and topped up. But yeah, it's a bit tired, the motor, but still, we have a working roof. And who knows, maybe at the car show today, I'll put this roof down. So it's about 40 miles there for me, 40 miles home, so an 80-mile round trip for this car, which will do really a lot of good, and it'll probably help me and my confidence with this car, because I intend to use it for some pretty decent drives during the winter. So yeah, an 80-mile drive, nice day, car show, bit of breakfast, and I'm sure a cup of coffee. So let's go. Save the life there. Brakes work on the Rover. About half a mile now from Hilltop Farm Shop, and look at the water that's on the road. Driven all the way here in really nice weather, and I've arrived here and well, we've got a lot of water on the road. Kind of defeats the object of washing this car this morning, because that's what I did. I washed it, I got up early and washed it this morning. Here's a photograph of the car looking great, nice and clean. Let's hope it still is when we arrive at Hilltop. Okay, so down the hill, and then back up again to the Hilltop Cafe. Oh, it's been a really pleasant drive today in my Rover. Really enjoyed it. It's a properly charming little car. And here we are, my charming little car at a classic car show. Hello, Joe. How are you? You well?
Yeah, good, you?
Good, mate, good.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Hello.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Where do you want me parking? Field?
We're going to
Yeah, lovely. I'll see you there. Thanks, great. Thanks. Got some nice stuff here today, look. In fact, I'll show you some of the best cars that are here. With some photographs in a moment. And of course, that all-important breakfast and coffee. That's nice. A winter car meet. Well, hey Rob, how are you? All right, mate? You're the reason I came. I saw your post. I thought, he's bringing a twin cam Escort. I'll bring a... Yeah. Don't look at my weld. Don't look at my weld. All right? Oh, I'm spinning away. My Rover 216 Cabriolet was really well received at the car meet, which was absolutely fantastic. But the best bit about that day was the 1 hour drive there and the 1 hour drive back. These cars drive really well, and this one in particular drives very nicely indeed. And that, of course, is thanks to this chassis and that lovely K-Series 1.6 engine up front, which really buzzes along. It's an absolute pleasure to drive. A well-maintained K-Series is a tremendous engine. They're revvy and responsive. I think this model has, 110 brake horsepower, which does not sound thrilling, I'll admit, but it suits this car's character so well. Certainly, this car is adequately powered and such fun to drive. A proper analog feel in a digital world. And there was one last job to do on this car, and that was to tidy up the weld repair that had been done on this side. So I bought a tin of Nightfire red paint and we painted the sill. That's much better. And I'm sure you'll agree what a smart looking car this is. In fact, all of the Rover R8 derived cars were smart, premium looking cars. After all, Rover did what all manufacturers did back in the 80s and the 90s. They took a mid-size car and, well, they created a hatchback version, both 3 and 5 door, an estate, a saloon, a coupe, and of course a cabriolet. And Rover in the R8, well, they made a darn good car. So good, in fact, that the Rover 214 won What Car's Car of the Year in 1990, with the R8 Rover coming out in October 1989. I love these things. I hope that you do too. Let's take this one for a drive. It might very well be the middle of winter here in the UK, but the sun is out and it's strong enough to call for me to wear sunglasses during this short drive. That's very pleasant indeed, and it may mean that I put the roof down in a moment to close out this video. The Rover Cabriolet, of course, came right in the middle of the production run of the Rover R8. This car was launched in 1992, 3 years into the production of the Rover R8. And just like the rest of the range, the Cabriolet was subject to the mid-life cycle facelift of the Rover R8. And the majority of those changes really happened on the inside of the car. The original Rover R8 dashboard was fitted to the Cabriolet, and then this later bubble dashboard was fitted, and this bubble dashboard of course carried over into the R3 Rover that started production in 1995. Now I will say that the interior of these Rover R8s really set it apart from the competition that was being produced at the time, like the Ford Escort. I love the Ford Escort, but I've got to say the soft touch of this dashboard and all of the wood trim, of course, well, it just makes it feel like you're in a prestigious and luxury car. And the driving position is really good in this Rover R8. The steering column moves, the pedals are aligned nicely, and well, the car just absorbs all of the undulations and the bumps in the road. This really is a great chassis. Whoa, just like that, look. Sure, there's a bit of body roll in this car, but it's very easy to adjust to and to control. And, well, it is a Cabriolet after all, so you get a little bit of scuttle shake, but it's kept to a minimum in this car. I've got to say the car drives really well. I said that earlier in the video, and I'll continue to say that. And it just nips along really, really well. It's a great little car. I am absolutely chuffed with my bargain Rover 216 Cabriolet. Sure, it has a few age-related marks, but my goodness, this car is approaching 30 years old. Now, I say this car was a bargain because I paid just £450 for this car. Now, add to that a stereo, the MOT repairs, a starter motor, a minor service. Oh, well, I've got a reliable, fantastic looking and fun to drive modern classic Rover for what? About £1,000? Plus, this car has the original MG Rover dealer number plates and a working electric aerial. Anyone who's looking to get into a modern classic car, well, look no further than the Rover R8. Honestly, they are brilliant. Whether it's a Cabriolet like this one, a hatchback, a Tourer, or a coupe. These cars are affordable, they're reliable, they're great fun, and boy, are they handsome. Anyone who's seeking to escape the cars of today for something with a bit of charm, with a bit of individualism, with that old school driving experience, well, look no further than one of these. These K-Series powered Rover R8s really do deserve far more recognition than they currently receive. What's my plan with this Cabriolet? Well, I've got one more job to do actually. I'm going to put a bit more oil in the pump, hydraulic oil that is, into the pump of this roof because it is a little bit slow, just to get that working a bit better. And then, as I say, I'm just going to drive and enjoy this car. And I'm going to do that until someone comes along and makes me an offer and takes this car on to look after it, to preserve it and to keep improving this car. If that's you, please do get in touch. But for now, I'm driving it and I'm enjoying it. Why aren't I going to keep it long term? Well, you saw the Rover Coupe right at the beginning of this video. That car is nearing completion. Can I say that? The engine's not in at the moment, but it's nearing completion. I will feature it here on the channel. And when that car's ready, well, I don't see myself driving this one that much. So for now, great, I'm going to drive it and enjoy it. But I can see this car probably finding a new home in the next few months. But one thing I will say, I've really enjoyed this car, and I hope that you've enjoyed seeing it here on this video as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please do drop me a like, drop me a comment about this, about the R8, about anything at all. And of course, subscribe to the channel. It really helps, and you get to see more cars like this. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now. Bye-bye.